the class behind us, the class of 69, and the class behind that, they had, we had more John West told me that there were 10 black students on campus when we came. And there were more African Americans came in with the class of 69, and there started to be a bit of critical mass. And I think the Black Liberation Affairs Committee, somebody mentioned, was chartered in 1968 and is still going. But that's a whole nother topic of how the civil rights movement as it was changed between 64 and 68, from NAA to SNCC to the Black Panthers was going on.
I remember that it was my junior year, I think, when I first heard the term institutional racism. I don't know if any of you had the same experience.
You told me about it.
Well, but it was interesting because we were so close to some of these were our friends.
Yes.
Yep.
And there was this, I had this sense of moving apart. It was a very painful kind of thing. I was in drama chorus, and we were all so close, and there was this kind of feeling of like looking at ourselves and being looked at as like, you're part of this. Mm-hmm. It was the first time I felt part of it.
Do you know what you said to me once during that period?
Was it bad?
You said that you wished you were black.
Yeah.
That you didn't want to be white anymore, that you wished you were black. And it was because
I think
of
I
the
felt
guilt.
that for a long time. Yeah. I looked at my own life and went, oh, I feel bad.
I didn't think Macalester at all was racist or in any way discriminatory, because not only did we have blacks, they were called Negroes, I think, then.
Yeah.
John said the other day, but we also had a lot of foreign students from different countries and stuff that was very encouraged. And we were just getting into the swap program, going to Europe and stuff like that. So my memory is that Macalester always had a culture of inclusiveness and welcoming.
I think it was known for that partly.
Yeah.
You know, an international, a globalist kind of approach to life, and I think that's probably why a lot of us came here. Mm-hmm. We wanted that. We wanted
and
to
like Lynn said, it increased each year. John pointed out there were 10 Negroes. You're right, that's what he called them himself, and that increasingly in 69 and 70, but I remember all the foreign students too. That was kind of foreign to me because, you know, I came from a Minneapolis suburb and it was all white and everybody thought the same, and so to be put here at Macalester was wonderful because it was so different.
Yeah.
And I was ready for different.
And we also had all the foreign journalists,
Yes.
Right.
too, which added another dimension to the, just the exposure. Because I think that's what college is all about. Exposing you to new things and having you sort of get your feet wet and figure out, what do you want to do with yourself. And when you were talking about how nervous in terms of Vietnam you were, the guy I was going out with at the time was applying to divinity school, and one of the questions they asked is, well, if you don't get in, what are you going to do? And he said, well, that's like asking someone doing 10 years to life. Where are they going to be tomorrow? And that was basically it. There was unless you did something really dramatic, if you were a man, you were gone.
Mm-hmm.
But regarding what's interesting for me is when I came from, in '64 from the Deep South, I remember one of the first days I was here and I was on the basketball team, and we had a team meal together. We had 2 black players, one from Chicago who I became very close to. I remember sitting with him and I looked across the table. I said, I've never eaten with a black before. And the guy just reached over and says, well, you're going to be, and he just embraced me. Like, we're going to be best. You know what I think he felt good about? I could say that.
Yes.
That he may have sensed some anxiety in me or a little bit of tension, but just the fact that, I could admit that I had never had a relationship with a black person, in spite of the fact that my community was probably 40% black.
Yeah.
We were totally segregated. We went to different high schools. We, went to different restrooms and drank from different water fountains. And now here I was sitting across the table from him. Mac gave me so much more beyond academics. Gave me exposure to different peoples, gave me exposure to the world in a way I could just so thankful for.
During the reunion, I've had this experience of sort of feeling like I found my center again, because I think we built our centers probably here, what's you might think of as your soul or your center, it was so much more, Chuck, wasn't it, than academics, though we had such a broad education and a really good education too. We built some ethics, I think, that carry us. I think there's a quote by Marion Wright Edelman that said, "Service is the rent that you pay for living on the earth." And that's always been close to my heart. And I've tried in ways to do that service. I know a lot of people think are not, a lot of the people around me don't have that sense of service. And I think Mac just...
Well, and that was real apparent at the breakfast this morning. My goodness, the people that received those awards, and you know that there's a whole bunch more that will get awards next year and the year after that and after that. And it's just phenomenal how people have left here knowing that now they're going out to serve. Wonderful.
And Katie said, Katie Lattis said that, we talked to her after, she said, you can't imagine how many people we had to go through to get the people that actually got those awards. She said it was so hard
So
to
lots of
find
nominations?
lots,
Okay,
lots.
good.
So, that was interesting.
I think you feel proud to be part of this
Absolutely.
place.
I wanted to go join some of those people today. I really did.
Yeah.
I participated in a Macalester focus group in Washington, D.C., I don't know, 25 years ago maybe. I don't remember when it was. The interesting thing was what we just said, they all said in the focus group. It was that sense of what distinguished Mac was the sense of service and the internationalism. We didn't use the word multicultural. I don't think we knew it.
It wasn't invented yet.
It wasn't invented then. And just to a person, it was the same. And so that I'm just so proud and lucky that I went here, because the same thread just goes through every single class person, faculty member, staff member. It's just amazing.